It's the NFL on EA Sports, where we'll see two of the NFL's oldest and most storied franchises. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Arizona Cardinals. Next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Valley of the Sun at State Farm Stadium here in Glendale. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
The kicker, Chad Ryland, has this one teed up, and we are underway here on EA Sports. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Buckeye, the young rookie QB from Ohio State.
Tell you what, partner, he might just be a rookie, but he certainly looks the part of a veteran NFL starter, and he carries himself like one leading the offense out there. In a lot of ways, he is advanced as a first-year quarterback, and he came in and was right at home with this offense.
And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete.
It's zone defense right away here defensively, and I know that these linebackers and DBs are going to be tested throughout. They passed the first test, though. This one falls incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. A first carry now. This is Johnson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. They'll run it, Warren, and this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
But they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments and usually only at halftime, but the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They will be led out by the Heisman Trophy winner from 2018, drafted #1 overall the subsequent year, Kyler Murray.
And when you have a guy like Kyler Murray under center, it not only opens up your playbook, it allows you to draw up even more plays because he's among the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the league and a true playmaker. If flushed out of the pocket, he might even be more dangerous. The next step for him, being able to throw on rhythm and deliver from the pocket.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. First carry for James Conner. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on first down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
The heavy set out there, 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. A short one here, caught by McBride. Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. This is taken at about the 14. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
On first down, it's Warren. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
They'll keep it on the ground. Warren trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Out on the edge, you love to have cornerbacks like that can bring them down in the run game.
And you're also exposed to everyone. It really becomes a one-on-one play, doesn't it? You're out there by yourself on the edge. The best ones know how to make the play, and we just saw an example of it right there.
On 3rd down, it's Warren, and he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down. On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And the last drive, their first drive, 3-and-out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
They start with a give to Connor, and he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
From the gun, Murray. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Fortunately for him, that ball stayed close so that he could recover it on his own.
And you know the prayers that were going through his head as the ball escaped from him? How happy was he at the end of it when he found the football again, able to retain possession?
To throw, it's Murray. Pass complete there to Harrison. And I'll tell you, the effort's sensational, but he may have come up a foot or so short of the line he needed. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
I think that we all figured when he caught it that short of the marker that the defense almost relaxed and said, we've got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the 4th down.
46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
From the 29, here's 2nd down and 7.
Operating from the gun.
Howard has this complete to Woods.
2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now they'll throw here out of the gun.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
They'll wind up getting just a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down.
Here now 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line.
Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler 1st down.
That's a very nice game there. A confidence-building run. Love the execution up front. And the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
2 1st downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Howard, left side here, taken in by Metcalf. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Second and a couple.
They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Up the middle they go. It's Warren. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Howard.
Got his man. It's Warren.
He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line.
The football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. It's Connor as they stay on the ground. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. The tackle by Cole Holcomb.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Throwing now is Murray. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. To throw is Murray. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Murray a give. This is Connor. And he'll get this up to about the 40. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, that run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Murray. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line.
From the gun, a give to Connor. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. The tackle credited to Deshaun Elliott, the safety. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Back in Arizona, 2nd quarter action. It's the Cardinals in possession. From the 24 now, here's a 2nd and 5. As they've got it as we resume action. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
They'll look to make it 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They need a yard here. They'll try and run for it with Connor. And just nowhere to go for Connor. Defense gets to him, and they mark him short.
Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They've reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Cardinals unable to convert there on 4th down. And this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. A chance to get some momentum here in the second quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure, you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in, but I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. That's only the second quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I don't want them to feel like they've let everyone down.
Positive.
Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Here's 2nd and 8. That is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
The Steelers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8. Operating from the gun. Howard. He'll find Metcalf. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No 1st down. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away.
Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger. Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
42 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
Shotgun now from Murray. He'll get this one complete to Zay Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They run behind center with Connor. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Here's Murray from midfield.
That's complete to McBride.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Steelers. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
They go play action here on first down.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Howard. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Off play action. Howard airing it out deep for Woods. They got his man complete. On 3rd and 10, they go flying past the marker and get nearly 40 yards.
One of the first big plays we've seen in this football game, and could that be the play that gets this game jump-started? It's taken a while as both teams have tried to settle in. Maybe now the pace will accelerate.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Back to throw again.
That's DK Metcalf running the slant. He's got it.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Here's Warren. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22.
The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Now 2nd and 5. Warren will try the right side.
And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Back to throw. Howard. Caught by Woods. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Back to throw now on first down.
Austin brings in the quick throw.
So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
Now run with Warren.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
They need about the length of the football here on first and goal. Warren.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Well, I know a defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited by what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on second and third down here.
Now Washington. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Darnell Washington taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Steelers post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this second quarter.
All drives that result in points hurt a defense, but when they are the sustained variety, play after play, and they just can't get off the field and stop them, that can be demoralizing.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. They start the drive with Connor. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
61 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 15 more yards there and quickly another first down.
Partner, there are strong running plays, and then there are plays where you simply outclass the defense, and we saw the latter there. They ran straight up the heart of that front for an excellent gain and first down. Simply put, you've got to put up more of a fight defending the middle. Otherwise, this is going to be a long game.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Murray.
That's complete to Michael Wilson. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
12 more yards there and another first down.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Able to get this one to McBride. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Again, they'll throw with Murray.
Flush to his right. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the 1st. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Murray. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Murray now to throw.
He finds his man, complete. That's McBride. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their 2nd, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Nine-yard line, 2nd and 6.
Murray now. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
In the red zone, precision is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
Murray going to throw. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet.
Here's Chad Ryland now on for the field goal.
From the left hash. Should be a fairly easy one here. And his kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing at the break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board, give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
Ryland now following the touchdown, back out to kick it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. One more drive here for the Steeler offense in this first half. And with a 7-3 lead, we'll see how aggressive they want to be.
$19 seconds showing to play in the half as they come up here 1st and 10.
Now they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, but we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side can play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. It'll be the Cardinals who get the ball first. They trail here as we resume action in the third quarter. And able to get this out to the 25. The Cardinals offense and their veteran running back James Conner ready for this next possession. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. To throw, it's Murray. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
Now Murray. And he had to reach for that one, but can't grab it. It's behind him, and it's incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. To throw is Howard, throwing to start the drive. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. Well, you got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on for the 5th time here today. A 41-yard punt there with no return. The Cardinals offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of the halftime talk for this defense. We've got to find a way to slow him down. That's probably what they're saying. But nothing that they have done has worked so far. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally, because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in a defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. 86 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Again, a run with Connor. And this time the yards won't come so easy, as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's third down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
This now a 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. Murray. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
On third down, he obviously wants to throw the football, but there's nowhere to go with it, so he takes off and goes. And now as he gets to the first down marker, he blows right past it and picks up big yardage. Partner, that's a great bit of improvisation.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Connor up the middle. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
2nd down and 6 now. Here's a handoff to Connor. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Throwing for the out route, he finds Wilson. And the Cardinals are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Well, part of their struggles in the first half was their inability to convert consistently on 3rd down. But how about this well-designed play? Gave himself plenty of options and able to get the hook up and keep the drive going.
They'll run here with Connor. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Again, it'll be Connor. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And just as they thought they might be able to take that across and get the lead, a big red zone turnover.
I know that I am defense-centric, and I want to give them a whole lot of credit, but I just can't believe after that drive, in that position, ball security paramount, they turned the ball over. Terrible.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field.
They'll take over deep in their own end after the fumble recovery as they start 1st and 10.
Now Howard, following the fumble recovery, he'll throw. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And they work this out past the 25. 23 yards, the final tally.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Back to throw.
Howard. He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
A handoff for Warren.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front 3, your front 4, front 5, whatever you've got in front of you to take up all the blocking, allow you to roam and hit. And that's what he did on that play.
And, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
Well, it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Howard from the gun on 3rd down.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. He's still on his feet.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
DK Metcalf, 55 yards. And the Steelers are able to widen their advantage.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is lets you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So the drive there took 6 plays.
And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
Last time out, remember, they fumbled the football. That led to the touchdown. And, Charles, they were in the red zone, so that's a backbreaker. They got to try to pick up the pieces here on this drive.
Yeah, and I actually started to do the math here, so be patient with me. 12-point swing is the way I calculate it, because not only did they drop the ball in the red zone, they watched the opponent score a touchdown right after that. So their goal, have a drive here and try and get some of those points back.
And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Murray a give. This is Connor. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game, and I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
Connor going to get it again on 2nd down. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 112 yards rushing now for Connor and a 1st down.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon, and that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
They'll fake it to Connor. Now Murray.
Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
A give running right is Connor. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
And he is going to have a Cardinals 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
To throw is Murray.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down.
Alex Highsmith able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. I think a lot of time when we see a sack, you say, well, you blame it on the offensive line, the quarterback, but here, maybe you just tip your hat to the defender. What a play.
Yeah, and I think sometimes they just get a sense of the play before the ball's even snapped. Kind of like a sprinter anticipating the gun in a race. They're off, and guess what? The quarterback's down.
Now Murray off play action. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion. And when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points. And the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Screen pass to Connor. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback.
Get a look at DK Metcalf as this offense returns to the field.
Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10.
The home team's offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the 3rd quarter.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. And that's going to do it. Clock hits zeros. They're not going to get another playoff. Time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line.
It's Cardinal football, but they trail here as we get set to bring you the 4th and final quarter.
He'll get this to Connor underneath.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A gain of 10, 1st down, Arizona.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's a 2nd down and 9.
Here's Murray from midfield. That ball caught by Harrison. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
And here's a spot where this offense says, we got to start making something happen. We're down 2 scores. It's the 4th quarter. We've got to start moving with some urgency. And here's a big play that gives them a ray of hope that they can get back in this one.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Throwing now is Murray.
That's complete to McBride.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be second down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch.
Now Murray, he bootlegs it.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. Taking matters into his own hands, and he picks up 4 yards and a first down.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain, so when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a first down.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. From the gun, a give to Connor. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
Not a whole lot there on first and goal, and that's what you're looking for defensively. You'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or 2 in this situation.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal. They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Well, sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half. You're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
Man, not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
The Steeler defense proving its mettle here. And now this is third and goal. He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
James Conner
from 3 yards out.
And the Cardinals have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th.
Well, he wasn't the guy they were initially going for, but after going through the progressions, it worked.
When you have plenty of people who can catch the football, you don't always have to go to your primary target, and sometimes that target is actually covered. Nice job coming off of that and getting it to someone who was open.
Yeah, the man out of the backfield gets in for the score.
It appears they're going to throw for it with Murray.
And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is.
Back out is the kicker, Ryland, and he'll send this one away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies.
Yeah, he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
What terrifies defenses when they see slant routes thrown is that the receiver is on the move, and oftentimes he catches it and gets upfield. That's a really nice job rallying to him and stopping him for a minimal gain.
Here's a 2nd and 5. On the give, it's Warren.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line.
A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Running left, it's Warren.
And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
This has been a tremendous drive to this point, and this is all you want, playing with a lead in the fourth quarter. If you can keep the ball on the ground, keep the sticks moving, you're going to be in good shape to finish this one off.
Right back to him on first down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
He'll get the hook up there to Woods.
And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Looking to throw.
Howard. Out route, and he connects with Freiermuth.
And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Howard. The quick slant caught.
And the Steelers are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. But right there, he rose to the occasion late in a close game.
It's something he thought about, dreamed about, and worked on throughout his career. Because in these types of situations, he wasn't going to allow extra coverage to keep him from getting the football.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers.
Pat Freiermuth.
A 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Steelers get an important score there to extend their lead here in this fourth quarter.
They have to love seeing that from their young quarterback here in the fourth quarter, able to further that lead with a touchdown pass.
He didn't go turtle, did he? And you know what I mean by that. I had an old coach used to say all the time, hey, when we have a lead late, don't just tuck in and try and ride it out. Go out and play and extend the lead. And that's what he did.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over.
And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it, and it's 2nd down.
We just saw another example of really good defensive football, which has led to the cushion that they have in this game. Got to him once again, knocked him on the ground, forced an incompletion.
Yeah, they've set the tone. It's one thing to set the tone, another to come in here on the road and set the tone. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Caught on the right side by Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards the pickup, good enough for an Arizona first. Correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
He's across midfield.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Murray. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Steelers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
The Steelers offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Got to figure now after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
On the run, it's Warren. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
And this is the worry because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here's Warren.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
The Cardinals forced to burn their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Third down and 1.
Off the play fake. Howard. And that will be incomplete. That close on third down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on third and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance. But that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. This is 1st and 10.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
And Murray in trouble here, and down he goes. T.J. Watt, the all-pro, in there to take him down. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. So that a double whammy. Not only do you have to give away the football, but the 2 points mean this is now a 2-score game.
And 2 doesn't seem like much, does it? But it means everything in this situation because now they're going to have to look back and ultimately that might be the play that ends up deciding this game.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here.
So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty.
And the knee is taken for the Steelers out of the victory formation. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long and sign off from the desert.